With 2025 coming to an end, it's now one of my favorite times of the year. And the only reason why it is because I get to share my favorite things throughout the past year with you all. Now, this is not a new kind of video. I've done this for the last couple of years, but I've also directly ripped this idea off of Adam Savage's Tested channel. It's one of my favorite things, seeing what other people liked throughout the year and what they thought were some of their most favorite items or experiences or TV shows even. I just think it's an awesome way to share what you love that sometimes you couldn't dedicate a whole video to, or whatever else you're interested in, which in my case is a lot of stuff. So this might be a long one, but that's because I'm a man with a lot of passions and a lot of things I love. But I've tried to cut this year down to very short and sweet and just kind of the most impactful things. So without further ado, let's get into it. My favorite things for the year 2025. So first up for this year of objects that were my favorite is the DJI Pocket 3 Ozmo, or Ozmo Pocket 3, whichever way. It's a camera. The reason I decided to purchase this camera is quite an interesting one, but how it all sort of came about was I've been wanting to upgrade my camera gear and sort of editing gear and photography gear this year. That was one of my main focuses. And I had been shooting on this old beast here. This is a Canon 60D. This camera is at least 10 plus years old. Maybe I got this when I was 15 or 16 and I'm now 32, so it's very old. But this camera is what I shot all of my videos on over the last 2 years. This is what I took all my photography on, and she's been a workhorse, but she also needs rest and to retire now. This screen has been broken for a long time. It only shows images upside down on it. Lots of various reasons. So I did a lot of research and came to the conclusion that I wanted to get a camera that could shoot one 4K video. That was very important because I haven't been able to go over 1080p on the 60D for a long time now, and I wanted to up the quality of my videos. Two was portability. I wanted something light, but also something I could carry around and take with me. This camera is very heavy. Having this on you all day around your neck is very tiresome, or on your shoulder, or even shooting with this at events. There's a lot of events I used to record and take photos at, whether it be like crimson brush painting competitions or trying to make videos at PAX Oz, and this just gets cumbersome, especially when you attach a tripod to the bottom of it as well, and to even consider vlogging with it was a nightmare. So my first recommendation was I needed something light that was very portable, and also I wanted a smaller form factor. Now I did a bunch of research, and what I ended up landing on was this, what I'm shooting this video on now, and all of the videos from July onwards on my channel, was the Ozmo Pocket 3. The main reason being, it's a small camera. It fits literally in your pocket, and it shoots 4K video. It also has one of the best features, for me personally, someone who didn't have it for a long time, autofocus. Just being able to record on the go, set up shots, not worry about having everything in focus. This camera here was a manual focus for video, so I had to constantly adjust my focus every time I would change shot or something like that, and I had to pull focus a lot, which was frustrating in the end. It made vlogging impossible. It made a lot of life events kind of just not fun or enjoyable because of that, and it put me off of making videos. So some of the things I love about this camera is, one, its size, the ability that it has a bunch of accessories, from lenses that you can get on it to ND filters, as well as little cases. It comes with a extra battery pack that you can attach to it, which I currently have on it, as well as a small tripod, and it connects with my wireless microphones that you can see here. So it kind of covers the bases of everything. It's incredibly small. It fits in all of my sling bags that I have. So like a little day satchel, I can just put it in that and I don't worry about it at all. The other thing too, it boots up very quickly. It's easy just to flick the screen, which is almost a fidget toy in of itself, and then be able to record on the go. So for me, it's really made me want to record more as the years progress because I can just with such ease record things. I don't like shooting on my phone. I find my phone to be something I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with these days, and I wanted a dedicated camera that I could record everything on. So the Ozmo Pocket 3 has been, without a doubt, the best and one of my favorite purchases of the year. Okay, the next item that I have is another camera, but this one is specifically and purely for photography for me. I've dabbled in photography for most of my life, since I was a teenager all the way through to now being a full adult. And I've done digital, I've done film, and I've enjoyed both of them for various different reasons. I tried to do a bit more film photography over the last couple of years, but there's a few things that made it a bit more challenging for me. Is one, developing film is a bit painful and annoying, and it's also just rough to find places in Australia that do it without having such a long wait in between. I kind of wanted to get some more instant, I guess you could say, feedback and results from the things that I would go out and shoot. Two, film is expensive, and that's just another cost to a hobby that I almost want to be a bit of a, because I'm not a photographer who takes it that seriously, if that makes sense. I almost want to be a bit of a one-time thing where it's like, yep, here's my camera, I go take photos, I have photos, that's it, done. So film was a bit too expensive. And after that, I did many months again researching different cameras and different brands to see what I felt in, because this camera I wanted to be kind of my forever camera in a sense, but something that is light and I could take on trips with me, events with me, and lots of other stuff. But I purely also wanted it to be small because I was so used to this 60D, this heavy beast that was annoying and painful to take on trips. So I ended up settling on this. This is the Fujifilm X-T50. Now this is a beautiful little camera here. I have a custom small rigs grip on it with a walnut handle, and the lens that I've chosen to put on it for the time being is the TTartisan 27mm 2.8 f-stop little lens. This is such a little pocket rocket, it's incredible. Now, this can shoot 4K video, but I purposely don't do that on this camera. I want it purely to just be a point and shoot. I want to be able to go to events, places, holidays, and just really get immersed in taking photos again. A big part of why I chose this camera being a digital one is, one, I won't lie, the aesthetics. It's a beautiful looking machine. The dials are incredible, they're tactile, they have this great sound, they're all very beautiful and clicky. But also, you know, some of the little customizing things, this tiny little red button nub I can put on the top here, the little small rig cover here for the hood. It also has a flash, you know, so it covers the basis of a lot of the things I want, and aesthetically it's very pleasing to look at. It looks like a film camera, which is something I really like, as opposed to a lot of the more modern digital cameras. But the other main thing was too, as my full-time job, I'm a graphic designer for a living, and then in my hobbies, I spend a lot of time on computers and screens and editing things, whether it be videos for this or other graphical design projects. Now, I wanted to kind of limit the amount of editing time I spent on these projects. So that's what also really drew me to Fujifilm in particular. Their color science profiles that they have for their cameras are just some of the best looking I've seen straight out of the camera, if not the best. Now, for me, what that meant was the experience I was after was something that allowed me to see something, take a photo, get immersed in the shot, and then instantly have that be done. Either take the photo straight from the camera through the app to my phone, which I can then upload to Instagram, or do a big dump later on my computer where I can just sift through and delete the ones I like, delete the ones I don't like, and keep the ones I like. This camera allows me to do that with its built-in film simulations. In particular, for this one, you can have up to 7. It has a dedicated dial on the top here that allows you to roll through their ones that they already supply you, but then set 7 custom ones. And that's where this camera is been really fun. There is a huge dedicated community of photographers who make their own beautiful settings based off of old film stocks or whatever they just think looks really good. And that's been a joy to kind of take those, sift through them, see what I like, what I don't like, what vibes I kind of interested in. And then it gives you this beautiful base color palette where you don't have to edit anymore if you don't want to, but it just gives you a nice sort of look and feel, especially if you're after a particular film stock look or something like that. So this has been one of my favorite purchases of the year, to really dive back into photography and be more present with it, not having to worry about any of the faff around editing or that. I just go out. I did a video where I went out into the city and just shot a bunch of stuff for fun. It took the whole day. I had a blast. It's one of my new favorite hobbies that I'm kind of falling in love with again after a very sort of long break. But I can't recommend the Fujifilm X-T50 enough. Okay, this next item was actually a category that I had last year, and I believe it was one of my favorite items as well, and that is the Star Wars Unlimited trading card game. Now, the reason why this has made it onto my year 2, I guess you could say, of favorite things is a few reasons. One, this game has been incredibly fun and very important to me for a few reasons. The main being, it's a dedicated time every week that I go and be social. I leave the house and I go play card games with a lovely group of guys who have all become dear friends. We get to do that once a week, every week, which is an absolute blast, and I really look forward to it. Just getting to, you know, shoot shit with a bunch of lovely dudes, talk a lot of fun, and nerd out a bit about Star Wars, but also just playing an incredible game with the universe that I deeply love. The other part is I've gotten a lot better at the game since the first year playing it. This year, I actually managed to top 8 a PQ here in Melbourne, finishing 6th, which is something I'm quite proud of. It was a goal to just hit the top 8 of a PQ here, which is a big tournament called a planetary qualifier. And I managed to finish 6th out of, I think, 70 something people, or 69 roughly around at the time. So I was very pleased with that and my effort of putting in and practicing with the deck I was playing at the time. This game's really good because it hits a couple of things for me personally. I'm a big collector and a big Star Wars fan, so getting to collect Star Wars cards that I then get to play with is just such a cool bonus, but also getting to use my brain in a different way and really focus on strategy and sort of slowing down and thinking ahead and planning out, you know, what I'm trying to do. It's just a lot of fun. The community for this game is incredible online. There's a lot of awesome resources and people out there making great videos on YouTube and some Discord communities. If you are a Star Wars fan and you like trading card games, or maybe you've never played one before, I would highly recommend that you get into Unlimited. It is just such a fun time and a really good beginner-friendly TCG to get into. Currently right now, it's not very expensive either. A lot of the cards that you can get, like boxes and stuff for, aren't ridiculously cheap. The game is nowhere near as competitive as, say, a One Piece card game or a Dragon Ball Z or a Pokemon or something like that. So as far as bang for buck, it is an affordable, very good TCG to get into right now. I love it. And they're about to release a whole bunch of multiplayer stuff this year, and I'm assuming that will probably be in my 2026 favorite things, because I really love the game, and if you all know me, I really like Star Wars. Okay, the next one is actually a service, but the act as well, and that is audiobooks. Now, I'm someone who, for the longest time in their life, said they hated reading or didn't like it. There's a few reasons for that. One, I'm very dyslexic and I've struggled to read most of my life, as well as focusing and sitting down and paying attention. Like, the act of sitting down and reading a book has been something that I still to this day struggle with a lot. I like to be doing lots of things all at the same time, or, you know, multiple things. And the idea of sitting and reading, I know some people find to be very relaxing, and it's a tough one for me. It's very challenging. I always get distracted easily, or I find it very hard to focus. Or if I try and read in bed like some people, I fall asleep very quickly. It's hard to get through a page. Often if I struggle to sleep at night, I try to read a book. I have been trying to get through the first 3 chapters of The Hobbit for 4 years now because I can't get through it without just falling asleep. But Audible has been a bit of a lifesaver. As someone who really was anti-reading and didn't enjoy it as a hobby, I missed out on a lot of worlds, a lot of incredible stories, but finally sort of just diving into this world of audiobooks over the last couple of years, it's really brought me so much joy. The ability to be able to listen to audiobooks while I'm mowing the lawns, going to the gym, running, cooking, walking the dog, or even a lot of my hobbies, painting miniatures, playing card games. It's just incredible, and I can't describe it any other way. I've turned around from being someone who actively wasn't a fan of that sort of medium to now someone who, I guess, loves it. I still don't sit down and read like novels that often, mainly art books and things like that, but I'm trying to get back into it and forcing myself to sort of push through a little bit. But man, audiobooks just do so much for my imagination and really help me kind of focus in and listen and connect with whatever the story is. Now, some of the books that really captured me this year is Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archive series. So I finished book 2, which was Words of Radiance, and book 3, Oathbringer. Now, it's hard to describe how good those books are, and I don't have the vocabulary for it, but they're fucking amazing. I've enjoyed them so much, I managed to get my mum to start reading them, and since then I've started a bit of a book club with my mum. So we started reading the 3rd book at the same time, and we both finished it, and once a week we would have a phone call and just talk about what we just read and what we thought was going to happen and how much we were enjoying the story and all that. And it's been a really fun experience to kind of have someone just as nerdy as you geek out on the book that you're both reading at the same time. So yeah, I've got a little book club with my mum for the Stormlight Archive series, and we've just started book 4. The other series that I read and got into a lot, there was a lot of books, but particularly the ones that come to my memory a lot when I think about reading, has been Trials of the Jedi. This was the final book in the Star Wars High Republic series, and it was kind of, its job was to wrap up the last 15 books, comics, graphic novels, all of this incredible storytelling, and I think they did a great job. I loved the book, I loved the series, and I loved a lot of the characters from it, and it might be some of my favorite Star Wars storytelling, period. That era focuses a lot on the Jedi, which are my favorite thing in Star Wars, and I just think the way that they were written and handled was really beautiful, and it had some great moments throughout the series. So if you are a Star Wars fan, I highly recommend giving the High Republic a try. This is some incredible villains and some really good Force mystery stuff, which is just... Audible has been a bit of a game changer for me and something that I really, really like, and a product that I use daily. So that's why I made it to one of my favorite things. So continuing on the trend about Star Wars, as you all know, who's watched this channel at all, I've made a lot of videos about Star Wars, whether it be from Star Wars miniatures to Star Wars games, whatever. It's a very important franchise in my life. It's something I've loved since I was a child, and also something that my wife has loved for a very, very long time as well. This year, we decided to find a way to share that love and talk about it a bit more, because fandoms can have this tendency to drift, especially it feels like nowadays, towards the negative side, where there's a lot of just unnecessary negativity or hate or people just complaining online. And it can really dishearten someone or make them not want to get invested in fandoms. I've had some of the best times of my life being involved in fandoms of things, and Star Wars has always been a tough one. I grew up as a prequel fan back in the days when the prequels were shunned and hated, and I never really had a place to talk about my love for those movies, or friends even that liked them, because it became the sort of trendy, cool thing to be negative about Star Wars in general. I've been seeing that a lot over these last few years as well, so we made a YouTube channel called Bound by Force, which is just a channel that my wife and I get to make videos about Star Wars and our love for it, from collecting the toys to opening trading card boxes. We have plans to start a podcast where we can just talk about what we like. It is basically a little space for us to kind of make videos about the things we're excited about within that fandom and then just share them online. And I will say, if you're looking for somewhere where people are going to have sort of negative opinions or complain about stuff, that's not really the spot for it. This is a place where we kind of wanted to foster and nurture positivity and just joy. It's kind of like a place where we can unabashedly go back to being a little kid and just enjoy loving Star Wars. I don't think about it very critically. I don't really care what people think of Disney or who like it or who hate it. I really like the world and universe of Star Wars and a lot of the stuff that comes out around it. And so does she. And we've just made this fun little channel where I've managed to make 9 videos so far this year of experiences that we've had, opening packs of cool cards that we like to collect, and just a place where we can talk about and enjoy Star Wars. So it's been one of my favorite things to do this year, because originally that stuff would not fit on this channel. This is meant to be about my hobbies and miniatures in particular. So it felt right and correct to make a place, but also give me a place that I can do like these projects directly with my wife, like it is her channel as well. So we talk about all the videos, and it's just been another fun way for us to like collaborate creatively and make like videos together, which is just really, really fun. It's another way to spend time with my wife and nerd out with her on a universe and a fandom that we both really, really love. So our little YouTube channel, Bound by Force, is something that has been one of my favorite things this year. Now, continuing on slightly with the Star Wars trend, is another one of my favorite things is tattoos. This year I've put in a lot of work to getting the rest of my neck done. As you can see here, you've probably noticed it in videos as my neck and face progressively get more and more tattooed. I've been getting tattooed now since I was 18 years old, and it's something that I genuinely love. And I can say I found my tattooing soulmate, which is our artist that my wife and I go to, and my dear friend. She was even the best man and woman at our wedding, and that is Katie Green. She has done Storm and Eyes tattoos for, God, maybe 11 years now, maybe longer, maybe 12 pushing. But she has covered our body in all of these tattoos here. Most of them are Star Wars, but this year in particular I got my Mandalorian on the side of my neck finished off, and then I also got my Turgle anniversary piece here. Kate runs co-owns a studio, I should say, here in Australia in Melbourne called the Painted Heart Tattoo Studio. I've never met anyone more creative and skilled in my life. If you know my wife Storm, you know she has some wild tattoos. She comes to Kate with some of the most obscure, weird ideas, and I've never met, as someone who's a creative professional too, I've never met anyone who just instantly goes excited and tackles them straight away. She's incredible. All of the ideas I come at her with, all of my niche, either Star Wars references or other video game nerdy characters like my Murloc down on my wrist here. She just takes the brief, runs with it, and always produces something that I'm so stoked and I can't wait. So it's been a pleasure to get more of her art permanently tattooed onto my body for the rest of my time. It's something I really look forward to because we just get to hang out with her and have a great time, but also the space that she has created along with Stacy, the other co-owner of this little studio, the Painted Heart. It's just such a good environment. It feels so welcoming and homely. It's fantastic. If you're looking to get tattooed in Australia or the Melbourne area, I would highly recommend you check out the Painted Heart on their Instagram. Check out Katie Green. I'll put links to everything in the description here, but she's an incredible artist and a dear friend, and I really, really like what work I've got done with her this year. I can't wait to get more done in the new year. Okay. Back to some more kind of tech stuff, and this one is an app in particular. This one is the app Mad Sculpt on my iPad, For the last 12 months, have really dived into trying to sculpt and create my own sort of vinyl-esque toys. I love collecting little vinyl toys in blind boxes from so many different worlds and stuff, and for the longest time I've been interested in it. I came across some YouTube videos of people making them, and that really just tickled something creatively in me to pursue that. So for the past 12 months, I focused on getting better and working at Mad Sculpt and learning a bunch through online tutorials. Specifically, there's a channel I want to shout out called Drug Free Dave. I learned a lot from just doing a lot of his videos, and then purchased some of his courses off of Udemy to just practice in my own time. But I was happy this year that I managed to create a couple of toys. There was one that was a little ghost that I made, sort of this weird hollow ghost character that was a lot of fun. And then the other one, which I'm quite proud of, is a little guy called Trunky. He was a tiny little tree that, funnily enough, my tattoo artist Kate now owns. I gifted that to her as a little gift, and he was just a blast. There was something about once I got him off of the printer, like my 3D printer, and assembled it, and I was holding this toy that I just sculpted in my iPad over the last couple of weeks, and now it was physical and real. That was just so satisfying and mind-bending. It was hard to describe how good it was, but I'm looking forward to this next year of getting invested in it. I've made a couple of these vinyl toys now, and it's fun, and I want to continue doing that, but I really want to try sculpting like some miniatures. I've not done that before, and I think that could be really cool now that I'm ramping up a D&D campaign, and I'm going to need a bunch of monsters and weird stuff. So yeah, Mad Sculpt, the app's incredible. It's very beginner friendly and very intuitive, and there's also a bunch of resources online, and if you just spend a couple of days and some time with the app, you'll be surprised at the results you can get from that. I'm someone who has zero sculpting experience. I don't understand anatomy or any of that stuff, but being able to watch a couple of videos and get some grasps on the software, I found it very intuitive and really easy to use, and it's a blast. So I highly recommend, if you're looking at getting into sculpting and you have an iPad or tablet, try Nomad. I found it to be incredible. Time for some honorable mentions. This is where I'm going to cover some things like just general media and video games. So I had to make a list here because I had to really think about this stuff. So for video games, I have Star Wars Outlaws, Death Stranding #1. I haven't played #2. Baldur's Gate 3, World of Warcraft, and Final Frontiers. I don't play video games a lot these days, but when I do, I generally like single-player, story-driven games that I can really get invested into the world and really experience stuff. The one that stands out to me the most out of that list was Death Stranding. That I've never experienced anything like that game, and it was so unique. The aesthetic was awesome. I just loved the weird story that was going on the whole time. I don't know how else to describe it. It's my first Kojima game as well, so for me, that was my first experience with him as a game developer, and yeah, incredible. I can't rate it enough. I'm looking forward to finishing it, and I haven't even finished it yet. It's a long process. But yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing it and then playing #2 and seeing how I think about that. Say TV shows. Andor Season 2, no surprises from me there. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. That's all I'll say. It is perfect. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The other piece of media that I wanted to talk about was One Piece, the anime. It has been such a good journey. My wife is very far ahead, actually up to date with the manga, whereas I am someone who's purely just watching it through the anime. We started it, I would say, the beginning of this year, probably, roughly, or maybe a bit halfway through last year, I'm not too sure, but we spent a lot of time watching a lot of One Piece this year. I'm up to the episode 500, and wow, what a journey it's been. The characters are incredible, the story's just so good. I don't know how to describe it other than that it's a lot of fun, and if you like goofy fantasy pirates watch One Piece. It's so good. All right, this next category is just some other media recommendations, but specifically YouTube. YouTube is the platform I watch the most out of anything else, over Netflix, over Disney Plus, over watching TV shows and watching movies. I watch more YouTube than any of those combined. So here's some of the channels that I've spent a lot of time with watching this year and that I would like to just recommend in case there's something you're interested in. So the first one being Miscasts or Trent's permadeath vlog YouTube channel. Trent is such a wholesome, lovely guy and an absolute legend in this space of content creation and just someone who shares what he's very passionate about. I have to say as well, he's been very kind to me and helped me get back onto this video making sort of track. I got burnt out last year and I made like 2 videos and I didn't touch it for a very, very long time. After spending many chats with him and talking back and forth and asking questions and him sort of helping me with answers, he's just been an incredible, lovely guy and a great friend to be able to have someone who not only is making YouTube videos, but someone who is also Australian. That's something I found to be a bit more difficult, since a lot of the online creator space that is focused around hobby tends to be American or European groups. So just having an Aussie that I could talk to, that I was aware of and knew about, was incredible. So thank you, Trent. I appreciate you a lot and I love the channel. Keep it up. Another one is this channel called Just Alex. It's about a British guy that also makes videos about the things that he is passionate about. Now, what I like about Alex's channel is they are long form videos. I'm talking 40 to 50 minutes, most of the videos, sometimes over. Or what he does at like the end of a season is just compiles all of his videos into one mega video that goes for like 4 hours. So what I like about Alex is he's someone who has very specific and niche interests and then makes a deep video about him learning them or just showcasing his love and joy for it. So his latest one was about beekeeping. He really wanted to keep bees, so it shows his journey of him going from owning 1 beehive to 9 and producing hundreds of kilos of honey and making candles, and what it takes to be a beekeeper. I don't know why I like it. I love watching his videos. Part of me, I guess, wants to always be like a homesteader and just have like a place that I live off in the bush and I make art and look after bees. But he also makes great videos about gardening, and it's something that my wife and I like to watch and relax and unwind to, you know, at evenings while we're having a meal or even in bed, and just chill out and watch his videos. But I don't know, they're just really great. His YouTube channel is called Just Alex. I would highly recommend his videos as well. This next one is a British photographer named James Popsy. He got my, I guess you could say, passion and love for photography back. He waffles on a lot in his videos, which is something I like. I'm a bit of a waffler myself. So yeah, anytime I can come across creators that talk a lot and are very passionate and interested in the thing they are, I generally feel a good connection towards them, and I spend a lot of time watching their videos. So his stuff just covers photography. I like hearing his thoughts, his opinions about it, and what projects he's working on and doing, and just kind of seeing his trips in general. They're quite inspiring, and yeah, he's really given me sort of a nice place to go focus on trying to be a bit better with my own photography and learn some stuff through him. So James Popsy on YouTube is another channel that I really recommend if you're interested in photography. The next one would be no surprise to anyone who considers themselves a maker like I do, and that is Adam Savage's Tested and the Tested Team channel in particular. I love Adam Savage. He's just been a hero of mine for a very long time. And I like watching all of his one-day builds. I like watching his process. I love listening to his book, and just anything he kind of does, I'm generally interested in. And the final one that I want to show off or talk about is just the Critical Role channel. If you're a fan of Dungeons and Dragons, you will know who Critical Role are. And if you aren't, you might be familiar with their with their cartoon TV shows, the Vox Machina and Mighty Nine, just more recently. Critical Role got me into Dungeons and Dragons back in 2018, and I've enjoyed watching that lovable group of people just tell stories and just produce some of the best, if not the best, improv acting in the world on the table. You know, it's just so good. It's hard to describe, but I get a lot of joy, same as I do like listening to audiobooks, just listening to them and go on these adventures with these characters. I was lucky enough and they came to Australia this year for a live tour. So the wife and I and a few friends got to go and see Critical Role live. And what a fucking experience. One of the most memorable moments that will stick with me forever was we are in an arena. Like this arena is the John Cain Arena here in Melbourne. I've gone and watched heavy metal bands and concerts play here, and now I'm in this arena for like 4 hours watching this lovable group of people tell a beautiful story through Dungeons and Dragons live. It was just so special and unique. It was hard to describe. There was one moment though where Matt was doing the classic Matt Mercer things and just getting you wrapped up in this beautiful tale, and it started raining. And on the roof of the arena, you could hear the rain hitting the metal while I'm watching Matt Mercer and the rest of the crew enthrall me in this tale. And that is something I won't forget. That was just like a magical, like I get cozy and comfy thinking about it. It was just, yeah, what a great experience. If you like Dungeons and Dragons and you like the nerds, check out Critical Role. They're incredible. Really, really good. But okay, I've rambled enough, but that is it. That is my favorite things of the year for 2025. Thank you, really, really thank you from the bottom of my heart to anyone who has watched any of my videos I made this year. I'm trying to step it up and put in a bit more effort and really hone in my craft and make some more interesting stuff for people to watch, but also for me to just enjoy making videos and share with everyone. So if you have spent any time with me this year watching either these videos or in our Discord community, the Dirty Paint Water, or through Instagram, through a message or a comment, I really appreciate you, and I wish for nothing but safety and happiness and joy for you into 2026. Thank you for spending some time with me this year, and I look forward to seeing you in the new year.